Hey, welcome to TokuTalkers. Today we're doubling up our Toku talking by talking Ultraman Omega episode 5 and 6 and GoZyuger episode 24 and 25. With me is my wonderful co-host Wyatt. I'm Buster. And yeah, we're here to sorry you missed a week, but hey, life happens. So
Yep.
we're here Toku talking with a
Yep.
cool GoZyuger two-parter and two unrelated Omega episodes. So,
Yeah. We got a nice 4-pack for
yeah.
you. Big
We also
big
got some
old
Zets news
episode.
at the end, but we'll get to it.
Yes.
All right,
So
first off, Ultraman Omega episode 5, Miko and Mikoto. This was a really interesting episode, I thought,
yeah,
because
it
it's a
mm,
one-off. It doesn't really advance any mysteries. It's just kind of like
mm,
a typical Ultraman fare where it's like, oh, here's this one-off story relating to a kaiju and the human
mhm.
relation to the kaiju.
Yeah.
Um what did you think of it, Wyatt?
It's one of my favorite subgenres of Ultraman stories is the tragic kaiju episode, and as in the ones where there's a human that has a bond with it. Excuse me. Oh, I almost sneezed. Whew. Uh, but anyway, yeah. So the sympathetic kaiju, whatever things like that, that they can take many different forms, and I think that they did a really good job with this one, building up, because I mean, the second that you see that the creature that she's hanging out with is this mystical snake thing.
Yeah.
I was like, that's going to become the monster of the week, and they're going to have to kill it. That's that's the sad story that's going on. Um, but yeah, I really liked how this episode played out. I liked, Miko, her her drama, her tension and everything with her family, and the her aunt and everything, and the I don't know, that melodrama was really well handled. I like that it Sorato, he was kind of the main lead alone in this. It was nice to see him fully just kind of go off on his own and be a
Yeah, no
cool dude.
Kosei, and that was kind of
Hmm.
a big the big thing about the episode. Was oh, Sotaro's gonna do a mission alone. He's gonna deliver this package alone. He doesn't need Kosei for this, and Kosei does help him at the end of the episode with
Yeah,
Rickiness, but most of the plot is just Sotaro helping this girl. So
yeah, it felt very it's classic, a very common writer-y, Kuga or Hibiki or something, where it's
yeah,
just helper guy, weird guy coming into your life and then helping out problem of the week,
hmm
etc. And it was just very, very good plot there, especially because he's one of the only people in the world that could see this girl playing with a freaky snake thing and have absolutely no reaction to it other than whoa, how's the
yeah.
because you got a guy. There's a guy there. How did you feel about the monster design itself?
It's pretty solid. It's pretty.
Mm,
It's very unique. The because it's very much puppetry rather than
yes.
a guy in a suit.
Mm,
Um, which I always like when they get different with the kaiju, either techniques of how they portray them or just design wise.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, and the directing in this episode was pretty simple, but there was one directorial choice in the fight with the snake and the Omega that really got to me. Where it's how Omega
Mhm.
does this hand grasp thing every at fight, where he's basically gonna crush the
Yeah.
kaiju
Yeah.
as kind of a basically a premonition of you're going down. He
Mhm.
doesn't. He kind of stops halfway through it and he's like, I can't because of the
Yeah.
emotional connection. It
Mhm.
just this is just a wild beast trying to survive. What and
Mhm.
it would make the girl sad and
Yeah.
if we destroyed it, but it's for her own good. So it's shit. It's
Mhm. Yeah. It is,
like
it's a good, yeah, it's a good sad kaiju episode. It's not exactly the same, but it's a similar kind of vibe to, one of my favorite, Toho movies, War of the Gargantuas, where Sanda, the good monster, or yeah, Sanda is the good one, Gaira is the evil one. Um, where that's more about like two monsters that conflict with each other. One is kind, one is cruel, and then but they're brothers, so the kind one still wants to believe in and trust the brother, but he's just like he grew up he grew up under the sea. He's alone and cold and everything. But the humans just see them both as the same thing anyway. So even if like one is a good guy or a nice monster, they're just like, there's a monster, we gotta kill it. So you know, not exactly the same as this, but like just the idea of like it's just sad to see like as soon as this thing becomes a kaiju, because it starts as just a little snake and then it's eating metal and absorbing the
Yeah.
iron from Miko's blood,
Yeah, that was
giving
a
her
crazy
like
reveal. Where
yeah
it's like, oh, it's not just the energy, it's just the iron specifically.
yeah
That's a fun sci-fi concept.
yeah. So she's like anemic throughout the whole, like getting worse and worse throughout the whole episode. Um, it becomes a giant monster, and at that point, it's just like rampaging out of a sense of like protecting its territory, or protecting this person that it loves, and not out of a sense of like malice or anything, which is like most kaiju. But it's just sad that
Yeah.
the situation escalated to that point and it could have been prevented. Like that's the tragedy. Is that if things went differently, then maybe things could have stayed in that simple state. But unfortunately, you can't stop things from happening. Um,
Yeah. It is
but I
what it
do,
is.
yeah, I do like that the aunt as well. Like, she has like a really good relationship with her niece, and then like she also gets like some of her the iron stolen from her blood, so they both have like a white streak in their hair.
Yeah.
So
Like the
in
the,
the
the trauma bonded them, for lack of a
mhm,
better word.
because it's a cute like full circle moment where like the package that Sorato's delivering are boots, like
Yeah.
work boots, field boots that match the ants, giving it to Miko. And then at first she's kind of like, whatever, she's a little bit not into it, but then at the end of the episode, when the
She
aunt points
tries
out that
out the
their hair
boots.
match,
Yeah.
yeah, they're wearing the boots, their hair matches everything. They're more, even though this traumatic thing happened and she lost this like animal friend of hers, she was able to grow closer to this person that's in her life. So that's like, it was overall like not a complete tragedy. It was more of a bittersweet ending than it was like purely tragic. So really liked it. One of the better episodes of the show so far.
Yeah. Like it's a pretty simple, like in the grand scheme of Ultraman, it's pretty like simplistic, but like it's pretty like
Yeah,
we've seen this before, but it's like it's still
absolutely.
like a well done version of what we've seen before. So
Yeah, I'm not saying like, oh, it blew my mind or whatever. It's just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, this is a
I know.
pretty
I'm
good.
just
Yeah,
I'm just talking
yeah.
from my experience, where it's like
hmm
yeah, but it's like it's well done for what it is. It's still a good episode. Then we move on to arguably one of the weaker Omega episodes in recent
Yeah.
memory, the Kaiju's Search. There's some good stuff in this. I just thought it was a little dull.
Yeah, it's a little dull. It's very like comedy heavy, with like the
Yeah.
goofy music and the sound
Yeah,
effects
goofy
and
yeah, like, I was like, it's been a while since we've had goofy music in Ultraman, so I was like,
yeah.
what's going on there?
Yeah, because like it's the plot of the episode is that a big mole monster comes out, dies, and then another second one comes out, and it's a male of this species, so it's like it's like trying to mate.
Yeah.
So but it doesn't know that its mate is dead or not dead. I don't know. Maybe I missed something in the episode. Maybe you could correct me, but
Yeah, it's like, and
because
honestly,
they
I am trying my best to remind myself of a lot what happened besides the
Mhm,
shot where like Omega talks to like the fight was cool because it's like Omega got to talk to like in his ultra form like to Ayumi as like a tiny
mhm.
like just like a big guy versus like tiny
Yeah,
human,
yeah.
like that was really cute. But like other than
Yeah,
that, I'm
because
like,
she shows him like the iPad footage of the like, oh, there's a mole that this is kind of like this mole, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah. But like at the end of the episode, they don't kill the monster. They just like grab both of the monsters and shove them back in a hole. And I was like, did
Yeah.
they just shove it? Wasn't that other one dead? Did they just shove a dead body like into the hole? Where
I guess they just did the burial. I think they just did
yeah, yeah, they
I don't know.
buried one alive. But it's like, yeah, you go to the next life with your wife. It's okay.
Yeah, it was that was yeah. I like the mole design. It's a funny mole
Yeah,
design, so I get why they wanted to make it a bit of a comedic episode. It just didn't really work for
yeah.
me.
It's just like I talked about before that some of the like Kosei screaming and getting and like mugging the camera and everything about like trying to hide Sorato's identity is a little bit tiresome. I understand I'm a 30-year-old man, so I should take it with a grain of salt. Again, always have to make that clear that I'm not trying to get too angry or upset or whatever about a children's show having like some humor that I'm like, this isn't sophisticated enough for me or whatever. But
Mhm.
this episode was it like had a lot of that. It had like another like character whose whole like personality was just to scream and
Yeah,
you
I didn't
know
really like Ayumi's like the person who was like going with her on the side
yeah.
adventure. Like that was no,
Mhm.
he was just not entertaining.
Yeah, just very very overall like after such a good episode last week, this week's episode, like yeah, if that was one of the stronger ones, maybe not the strongest, but like definitely up there, like maybe in the top 3. I mean, there's not that many episodes to the show, so whatever. But this is probably like the weakest one, just
It's a
because like
shame. I like the mole design. I wish they got a better story.
yeah, so it was just like yeah, I don't really have that much to say about it because like nothing really
Yeah,
it felt somehow it felt like a filler episode in a series that is like well, there's no filler because it's not about like
yeah,
a
and a very episodic show.
yeah, exactly. It's more about like slice of life or like interpersonal problems that happen like every episode, but there just really wasn't anything interesting. This episode, like the new character in this episode wasn't like it, he didn't have a compelling character or arc or anything at all. And even like Ayumi, like her resolution at the end of the episode was nice, but it didn't feel like it was like really progressing her character. It felt like she had already kind of like she was already on that path already, and then she was just like stating the obvious of like I'm gonna study kaiju, and learn that they're not just like rampaging
Yeah,
monsters,
like
they're
it's like
animals in our ecosystem. And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, that feels like feels like that was established when you first were introduced, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't really feel like I gained much both from the in-show characters or just like anything from that episode. Like, which is a shame. But it's like,
Yep.
hey, we can't hit hundreds all the time. So
Hmm.
anyway, on to a very exciting GoZuger two-parter. We're just gonna talk about both these episodes at the same
Yep.
time because they're
Yep.
two-parter. Episode 24, the thief is causing a stir at the school, and episode 25, the gutsy police are in the clear. This
Hmm.
is the Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger two-parter.
Yeah.
For what do you think of Lupat first before we get into these
I
interpretations
re-
of characters?
I really like Lupat. If I have any specific issues with it, it's that like the villains are kind of weak in Lupin versus Pat Ranger. But the conflict between the two Ranger teams are so good that it doesn't feel like there's like a lack of interesting conflict. It's just that the Ganglers are
Yeah.
pretty weak villains
Which
overall.
which is
Go
kind of
ahead. What was it?
understandable with like the first versus Sentai, where it's like, oh, you
Mhm,
want to focus on the versus Sentai element. Like the villains are kind of
mhm.
like, we like. I mean, they're just there. Like for like
Yeah,
if a monster of the week has a fun personality, sure, but like we don't really care about like overarching. We
but
just
yeah,
want
I
to like
like
we
the
want to hone in on that like police versus thief conflict.
yeah, which is
And I
cool.
will
Like
say,
all I really like all the characters and everything in Lupin
yeah,
Ranger's Pat
I
Ranger.
like most of them except Noel. I couldn't really get behind
Yes,
Noel.
that I didn't want to be too negative, but I do not like the Sixth Ranger, unfortunately, or the Extra
Yeah,
Ranger, whatever. Unfortunately,
it is what
but
it
yeah,
is. But like, something I appreciate about the first part of this episode, like they did a lot of the GoPro camera work you saw in Lupin Ranger versus Potter
yeah,
Ranger in the GoZuger, like in this episode, where it's like, especially like at points, like if the belt buckles were different, because like each of the Universe Warriors has like a GoZuger belt buckle instead of like their
yeah,
regular belt. Um, like if they were just a bit different, like they would. like it would just feel like you're watching Lupat. Like
Yeah,
at that
yeah. You
point,
can
that would
trick
just feel like
somebody.
you're.
You can put a on Toku gifs or whatever. You can put the scene, and people would be like, "Oh, what episode of Loopat was this from?" And then
Yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, yeah."
Which I think that's charming. The little school plot. Episode 24. I was watching this at a very interesting point in my life last week.
Mm,
It kind of hit a bit too close to home because I was thinking about going back to school, like
hmm.
college, and then
Yeah.
I ultimately, before I even watched this episode, I ultimately came to the conclusion that I don't want to waste, there's other opportunities for me. I don't want to waste
Mm,
my time there. And then I watched this episode, which is like kind of about the same message, well, like
yeah,
about like
yeah.
not wanting to waste your youth, like at
Hmm.
like just school or just not wanting to waste too much time out of school. Like even like there's other opportunities for you
Yeah.
which and then, like about like yeah your school life can still teach you good lessons but it's like it's time to move on. It's like
Hmm.
oh
Hmm.
that that was a bit too
Yeah.
close to home.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of reminded me of and there's a couple things that connected in my mind to Forze. Well, I mean, first of all, Hoiru is wearing the
Yeah,
Gentaro
I
fit.
just looked, apparently that is just the good Gentaro fit that
Yeah,
the
which is
production team
like
said that is just legitimately the Gentaro fit.
that, which is awesome. But it reminded me of the Ares, like that two-parter episode from Forze, where like they go to another school and it's
Oh, the
kind of
final
like
form episodes.
yeah, where the the school is like dominant. It's like Ryusei's school, and it's dominated by like the Ares Zodiarts, and he is kind of like turned everything into like a game. It kind of reminded me of that, where it's like, oh, there's all these people that are like kind of stuck in this high school scenario, and they're being like mind controlled to just like continue to like play out these high school tropes and things like that. Um, it was very good. It's weird because it's the Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger, and but in it they do have like Mega Ranger, like the ring, and to me like that's the big like high school Sentai series. So it's weird that they didn't like save this plot for like the Mega Ranger.
Well, it's like
Like it,
I just think like I don't know, like it is again it's doing different things with the Sentais, and it's like I just think the Mega Ranger transformation was like a nod, wink and a nod to like that kind of thing, where it's
yeah,
like they wanted to do something different for like a Lupad episode because like that's a very interesting. So it's like making it like a school like mentor to student conflict rather than
yeah,
like
with
a police thief conflict is very interesting. I think.
and while
Um,
I know that the guy who's Lupin Red, like he was in an Ultraman thing, but he wasn't anybody that I recognized specifically.
Okay,
But
Patron Red is Ultraman Trigger.
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, Patra and Red, yeah, yeah, that's right.
because
Sorry,
Lupin
and
Red
then
is
Lupin Red is Seiji Taikawa.
Takaiwa,
So
yeah, who did
yeah,
a bunch of suit acting for both Sentai and Kamen Rider, mostly
yes, I
Kamen
was
Rider, but
immediately recognized him. I was like, that's yep. As soon as he was doing, like, I was like, why does he seem familiar? As soon as he started like kicking ass, I was like,
yeah.
Seiji Taikawa, that's
And this
it.
is a Sakamoto directed episode, so you got a
Mm,
lot of flashy action and stuff. Um, I always noticed like at least the two because Sakamoto's directed two-parters. He's directed the Gower Ranger one and this one. I noticed he really likes to bring like, especially in the second part of these two-parters that he's directed so far. He really likes to just bring in Hodo, like the to Hono, like was that the Ring Hunters Garudo? He just likes to bring
yeah,
in
yeah.
Garudo just not even for like plot related, just to like have flashy Sentai action.
Mm,
Like
mm.
we don't really advance like even though Garudo shows up, we don't really advance like his character or story. He just kind of like shows up just to be like, "Hey, I'm still here.
Mhm.
I just need to buy my time until I can do my
Yeah,
next
exactly.
thing."
He's him and what's his name? The White Ranger are both like these guys haven't done jack shit in like
A
like
couple
six
episodes,
episodes or
yeah,
something. Like they've just been like hanging out, being like, and I'm here too, every so
yeah.
often.
I mean, like there's this part in like the 25th episode where it's like the second part where it's like the White Ranger Mashiro, he's doing all this like he's like
Mm-hmm.
using all the rings, and what it leads to is just the Tegasword gaining TokuTalkers arms.
Right.
And I find that is really funny.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna do this grand power. You have new arms.
Yeah. And it's like it doesn't look that good either. Like it just
Yeah,
is
I get they
like
want to advertise the universe Robo line, but it's like
mm,
still, it's like that they could have done a little bit. Maybe like because especially because we had the crazy part of like that Black Daizujin using all those like 3 Megazord parts at like
yeah,
once.
Engino, arms and yeah,
Yeah,
like
like Shinkono legs, and it's like
mm,
that was crazy. So it's like it just feels like what are we doing here?
yeah, yeah.
In general, like 25 was a decent conclusion, but I felt it had a bit too much flash for my liking, where it's like, oh, it's just kind of like all flash. Like the
Mm.
conclusion to like the built up in episode 24. I feel like I don't know, maybe it could have been one part, but it's like
I
in
think so.
25.
I agree that like my problem with episode 25 was that like a third of it was story and then two-thirds of it was just like nonstop action and just like a bunch of flashiness when it feels like we just had like a really, I mean, it's the summer, whatever. They gotta have a
Yeah,
lot of cool action, but like we just had the like, the big conclusion of like the orca,
yeah,
thing
booster.
from the previous,
And it's like
batch
I
of
don't mind
episodes.
action. I just felt like it just like it didn't really like I don't know. I just felt like there wasn't like interesting character stuff happening in the action. Where not 24 especially had there was that conflict with like with like the bell guy who like
Mm,
disguised himself as a teacher with Horu. And it's like there was some cool action there, but it's like there's also like an actual character stuff happening where it's like
yeah.
Horu and this
There
like bell guy like had a bond and now they have to kill each other and shit. Like
I don't know why there had to be two no ones at this school. Like why there had to be another secret, like I'm more in charge than this other one that came in, like the grit one. Like I don't know why that needed to exist. Yeah, it definitely didn't like ruin the whole plot line. I still really enjoyed it, but it was like a kind
yeah.
of a weak conclusion, especially because like they've done really good jobs. It actually most of the time thinking about it, the like the second episode of like these, if they do the Universe Warrior two-part type episodes, it's usually the second part that's like more interesting or is like ups the stakes or whatever. Like that's the case with the
Yeah,
Cow
like
Ranger one.
the Car Ranger one with
Power
like
Ranger one,
Berserker.
yeah, the Boso like car red racer or whatever, and then the Shinkenger one, which we were like, oh, the first part wasn't, we were kind of like mixed on it, but then it got like way more interesting
You know,
because
when Fire Candle got his
yeah,
wing.
so yeah, it like so this feels like the opposite where it's like, oh, it felt like they kind of explored most of the drama in this story in this first episode, and then it's kind of just like spinning its wheels a bit in the second one.
Yeah.
Um, Still some really cool action, and again, like Seiji Taikawa out of suit fighting with the monster,
Yeah.
amazing. He's just so good at doing at
Bro
that.
still has it. Like he
Yeah.
did like a couple films. I forgot what they're called recently, but like where it's just him like out of suit doing like cool shit, like in action films. I
Mhm.
gotta look into those because it's like it was like something about the title had something to do with lions. I forgot. I need to
Mhm.
look. I could just probably look at his Wikipedia later to
Mhm.
figure them out. I think Sakamoto also directed those films, so I think it's just like
Cool.
Takaiwa and Sakamoto are just that close to each other. I don't know.
Mhm.
And like also Sakamoto directed Ultraman Trigger, which is where the main actor for Pattern Ichigo is
Mhm.
from.
Mhm.
And there's even like even the principal guy I mentioned earlier, where it's like in the 24, where like Koryu and the Bell Prince, not principal. I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
confuse principal and teacher, but you get what I mean. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
like those two, like that was also in Trigger, so it's like there was a little
Mm.
Ultraman Trigger reunion there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. It's cool just seeing all of
Yeah.
that. But yeah,
I'm definitely excited for next week. I'll explain why next week. But it's like,
sure.
because there's some juicy casting that's happened. In terms of
Mm.
like who's appearing next week. Um.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was that's a solid two-parter. It's about what I think of Lupin Ranger versus Power Ranger, like where it's like, yeah,
Sure, yeah.
like first half is like all the good character stuff, and then second half is kind of like,
Right.
I mean, it could have been better, but I still liked it.
Yeah, I definitely think Little Richards versus Pat Ranger as a show kind of loses a bit of steam towards the end, but the actual I like the finale with
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to spoil it necessarily, but like, yeah, the way that the final battle and everything is resolved, I think, is really clever, especially because for most of the series, the Lupin Rangers had been carrying the title as like they're the more important, emotional pillars of this story. So, uh, kind of like giving the Pat Rangers like a total W at the end of the show is like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's very good. I think that they handled that very well in that show, and again, it left it off on a good note, even though, yeah, I
like
would say it's probably like a B tier show
yeah.
in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
yeah. I mean, it's still good. It's still good. It's just like they could have done a. I mean, maybe they'll do another versus Sentai eventually. We'll see.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kind of want them to, just because I like the concept of like versing like conflict in Sentai. I feel like, and especially because like in this like GoZuger has like character conflict with the competition, and then like Don Brothers like
yeah,
they don't know each other as well as other
hmm
Sentais, so it's like I don't know. I feel like if they want to, and then King Oger had like all they're all like
yeah,
egotistical kings, so I feel
yeah,
like if they want
yeah,
to
and
continue that stuff, then
like these
there's
Sentais that where it's like working together is not the default,
yeah,
and then sometimes they can get in each other's way, like in Don Brothers, like some of the stuff with Kichino later on, where he's like, kind of scheming and like throwing a wrench into things. Like even if he's not 100% aware that it's kind of screwing over the team, it
yeah,
is like it is present there, like from our perspective. But yeah, good stuff this week. Or
all right,
okay, this week, the actual two episodes this week, a little bit weak. But the previous two episodes that from the episode we would have done last week were pretty good. So,
yeah.
thumbs up.
Yeah, it averages out to
Good
being
ballot.
a
Yeah,
decent week, I'd say. And like I don't really say there's one below average episode, and that was the second Omega episode.
absolutely.
So all right, let's talk up the Zets press conference happened. Then we finally got some extra. We got a new trailer, and it looks pretty trailery. Like I think that my big takeaway from the trailer is the bike is a dude. Like the
Mhm.
bike can become a dude who's like actual voice to the character. It looks
Which is
pretty. He looks
cool.
like a cool bike.
Mhm.
Have you seen it, or should I
I
just show
did see
you?
the trailer. The bike being kind of like an informant slash, like whatever guy on the inside or leader type. It's like Bundorio.
But yeah,
Where,
like kind of like a suave Budorio, because Budorio is more
mm,
excitable, but from what
mhm,
little we've
mhm,
seen, this guy's a bit more suave.
mhm. and
Um,
they have the I was like, I saw one of the characters and I was like, why does she look so familiar? And then somebody pointed out like, oh, that's Lobo from Geats. I was
Geets,
like,
yeah, I'm
oh
glad she's
yeah.
getting more work.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, I thought that she was really cool in the small part of the story that she was in Geats. It was kind of weird that she didn't come back or stick around, but
yeah, and then the
like
freaking like yeah,
owl
owl
guy
guy
was there
dude.
until the end, and he got like a redemption arc, and I was like, this is kind of completely unearned from this guy, but
Yeah, he's
whatever.
too much of a nerd. I don't know, like
Hmm.
snuvel. I don't know. I don't know what words are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
But the big two things they revealed is Yu Takahashi, like officially confirmed for writing. All right. This is his fourth Common Rider series, so this will be interesting. Uh, the big thing was the theme song thing, which actually got a leak ahead of the press conference, but officially confirmed. It's by a band called Knock Vane, but it's interesting because the composer of the band, or like producer of the band, is
Mhm.
Hiroyuki Sawano, who's done a lot of like
Yes.
famous anime songs.
Yes, I
Apparently,
love
like, I've
Sawano.
looked at his credits. Apparently, like I mainly know him from Xenoblade X because like
Yes, Xenoblade X was a big one.
yeah,
So if you know, not even a distant land, we're stuck on a whole different planet.
yeah, he composed a lot of the great tracks in that game, and
Yeah.
I think unfortunately what he's mostly known for is freaking Attack on Titan and Solo Leveling, which
Yeah, he
I've
he
always
does a
said
lot of
this
like anime hype music, like that kind of.
hype moments in aura shows, for lack of a better
Mhm.
word, and
Yes,
I'm
yes.
like. I mean, like, I always, and he also did Gundam Unicorn, and like, I actually been listening to just like random bits of his soundtrack to
Yep.
get a feel for like, okay, they already actually released a theme song like a month early, which is kind of crazy. It's a good
Yeah.
theme song.
Yeah, I
Um,
really enjoyed it. I think it fits the like some people are like, oh, I don't like Got Boost because it's too like poppy or whatever. It's not like atmospheric enough, and I'm like, I don't know, that fits Gav. It's not
Yeah,
like it's not a super dark show. I know dark things happen in it, but the vibe of the show overall
yeah,
is
pretty
more like
poppy.
lighthearted. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And like
X-Aid.
even then, Got Boost has some like like I feel like there's some sinister moments in Got Boost that like
Yes,
match
yeah.
the sinister like undertones in Gav.
But this feels very. It feels like in the vibe of like the cool,
Like
like
agents on the
mysterious.
run.
Yeah, yeah, and the chorus kicking in is really good.
Yeah, actually, like I was reading comments by Japanese viewers, and they were all like, "How are kids supposed to sing along to this?" Which I
I
find
thought that I
really
was like, I adult can't sing along to this.
yeah,
So
and like there like a lot of them were talking about, man, this is so stylish, and I'm like, yeah, that's you kind of want that like big
mhm,
style, especially when it's like you're trying to appeal to an international audience with the upcoming simulcast.
yeah.
If we could even, I find it weird how they
Mhm.
didn't really like, even though this is supposed to be like the first Kamen Rider to be like simulcasted like in the U.S. We didn't really get like a even like an English official English sub for the trailer when it came
Yeah.
out, which I'm like, oh, okay, like come on,
Yep,
where's the
already it
simulcast for
hasn't
this
even the show hasn't even started airing and they're already kind of half-assing the
promotion? Yeah,
process. So yeah. So hopefully it
well,
will
well,
kick up when the show is closer to airing because we still got like it's like the
a month.
beginning of
Yeah,
September. Yeah, the first week of September or whatever.
yeah, September
So
7th, the show will premiere, and I am pretty interested in it. Yeah, so like I'm generally pretty excited for Zets. We'll definitely be talking about it here. Uh and yeah. I don't think it's gonna be kind of hard to follow up Gav because Gav's been like so fun. So it's like,
yeah.
but it's like, I just gotta go in with different expectations because it's gonna be a different writer, different crew. It's like a different
I,
vibe.
I think that's with going from Geats to Gotchard. It really helped to watch through Geats like week to week with a friend. So or Gotchard, whatever. I don't know what I just said. Watch through Gotchard week to week with a friend because it gave me perspective. It made me like, even if I was critical of a lot of it, uh, every week I was trying to find something that I enjoyed about it to like have a discussion with my friend instead of just like we weren't just ever shitting on it,
Hmm.
all the way through. And I still maintain that it is like it is not a bad show. It's still a pretty good show. Overall, it's just, kind of on the weaker end of the Reiwa era so far. Um, but though I haven't seen Revice, maybe that sucks worse. So but I don't
I'm
know. But yeah,
afraid I'll let you find your own opinion.
right. Yes, yes. Because I've only seen Zero One. Like Revice is the only one I haven't seen. I've seen Zero One and Saber and uh, you know, Onward, etc. But yeah, I am definitely like I'm excited to get to Zet's coming out for us to watch it week to week for us to talk about it. Similar to like with Omega, where like even if there's like a week episode like we got this week, we can
Yeah,
still try to like we're still like talking about it in a context of like not just like purely shitting on it or purely
yeah,
praising it
we're
or doing
enjoying it. We're
whatever.
enjoying it.
Yeah. So yeah,
It
I'm
just like
interested.
we enjoy it. It's just like how do I explain that?
Mhm.
I'm trying to it just like that week just didn't hit as hard as the other weeks. So
Mhm. I will say
that's
though, I will say about Zets, by the time that we got the first trailer, like the story trailer and everything for Gav, I was immediately very invested in that world and wanting to see like the characters and everything and like where it was going to be taken. This I'm kind of like lukewarm on. I'm more still just like I guess we'll see. It's still like
yeah. I kind of look
yeah,
lukewarm on the Zets trailer. Like I mean, it's cool action, but it's like I need to actually see an episode to see where it's all like how this will play out from time to time.
yes, yeah. Right now, very like a little bit of wizard vibes in
I'm
there.
getting like
A
a lot
little
of double.
Yeah, a lot of like early 01 in there.
I
Um,
kind of feel like I need to wait for like the first like 15 episodes to see like the shoe drop because Yu Yu Takahashi likes doing that where it's like
yeah,
okay, I have the first 15 episodes are like kind of pretty basic, and then the shoe drops, and then we get into the actual
yeah.
show.
Hmm. But
Like
all right,
Exe
yeah,
did it.
yeah.
Geets even did it. So
Yeah. Geese had the whole. It had a very good format for that because it had the like all the different games.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this Toku Talkers. Wyatt, plug your stuff.
All right, go on over to Twitter and Blue Sky, Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. Mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do post about podcasts I'm doing and videos I'm making. Not working on any videos at the moment, but we got Cartoon Buffoons, which is my main squeeze. I do it with our friend Morgan. Buster, you're gonna record an episode this week with us on
Yeah.
Transformers Animated. It'll be coming out, at the end of the month. So, yay, thumbs up for that. And if you want to catch episodes a week early, go on to the Patreon. Also, It's Only Magic. $3, you get the episodes a week early. If you only have $1, that's fine. You still get our mini series, literally mini series. Wow, Cool Robot. Me and my friend Wayne going through every single robot in existence and reviewing it. 1 through 5 stars. It's fun, and they're like 5 to 10 minutes. Check it out. There's like 130 episodes or whatever so far, so just like dig in. It's a good time.
Yeah, lots of good robots being discussed over there.
Yeah, a lot of bad ones. There's also a lot of bad. We got like I think at this point or coming up soon is the Beast Machines Optimus Primal. So yeah, so that's not a good robot there, but anyway, yeah. So check that out, Buster. How about you?
Hi, I'm Buster Corp. You can find all my videos of varying subjects at the Buster Corp channel. I also have a second channel where I do a cartoon. I don't talk about this often, but I have Buster Tales. A new episode of the Victory Buster Show coming soon. Just I need to actually record it, my lines for it, and then we can actually edit it. But I've just been too busy, and it's so hot that I don't want to act. So it's just like soon though. I promise soon. Hopefully, I'm also at Blue Sky yapping about whatever is happening and laughing at people for getting excited
Yeah.
for cartoons because I am
Yeah.
a sick frick. No, I
Yeah.
can't. I can't. No, just go find me on Blue Sky as I vent about my writing process and
Yeah.
other funny things.
Something incredibly cursed was just announced yesterday at the time of recording this, so that might be what you're referring to.
No,
But
I,
yeah.
mean, that I was just being a dick. I should.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's gonna do it for this Toku Talkers. We'll see you next week for the next GoZuger and the next Omega.
See you there.